loved Higurashi When They Cry for almost as long as we've known about it. Although, honestly, our first contact with it was not the anime itself or the visual novel I'm about to play, but the song Faggot by Mindless Self Indulgence. Such a fucking bop to this day. Um, and it was known at the time for being a really edgy anime. And I guess you could say that it technically still is in terms of horror, psychological, and like that weird, well, weird for most people, the Minhara nature of it, and how it's like characters who are very endearing and very moe, but also very. If they aren't fucked up, then something fucked up happens to them. It is a great jumping off point for a lot of kinks, especially Garo. Um, it's I feel like it was kind of like Higurashi at the time that it hit America. Kind of felt like how Made in Abyss feels kind of now, where it's like, oh, this is a really cool anime. I really like the art style. I really like the characters. Oh, cute, moe. Oh shit, and also lots of death and despair and pain. Actually, um, it'd be a while before we fully accepted our masochist and sadist tendencies. So we watched it with a cautious fascination. And I think that like being an anime fan on the internet was very special for us because of Higurashi. And I say that particularly because, oh right, hi, I'm Punk Bite. I use she and they pronouns. I'm a shark bunny. I'm in a mech suit, what have you. Um, how do I put this? Um, a lot of people talk about the normalization of certain like fucked up shit and toxic shit, and like abusive stuff by way of like exposure to certain media, and I feel like there's a hint of truth in that, in the same way that there's a hint of truth in the whole like if you do one drug, you'll escalate to other drugs. It's and we've been the type of person who would rather say that friends and social interactions are what's going to propel someone into like different or harder drugs more so than just a natural inclination to be like, oh damn, this shit isn't hitting hard enough, I need to get something way more intense, you know. And the same thing with like kink and like I guess edgy stuff in general. I mean, if you grew up in the '90s or the early 2000s, you probably have some recollection of the sort of moral panics against stuff like games like Rule of Rose, not just Grand Theft Auto or Manhunt, but especially a fearful exotification of um, stuff that you can't quite put your finger on as a normie of like, this makes me feel uncomfortable, but I can't fully articulate why. And it happens to also be foreign. Oh gosh, it's over for that. Like the amount of weird racism that comes out and like hating stuff because it's not from the culture that you're from, or rather in America, especially Eastern cultures, and thinking of it as like this weird hypersexual, hyper violent thing, which I do remember anime was just kind of lauded as when we were growing up. But even at that time, we knew that there was a lot more nuance in like stories that could be explored in animation, and like there's a difference between adult animation and like general audiences stuff. Like by the time we had seen Hamtaro, we had also seen Demon what was it, Ninja Scroll and shit like that, and Akira. So like there's certainly an influx of stuff that was like really press the buttons of certain sensibilities that less people were comfortable with years ago. And of course, time is a spiral or whatever, right? So some of those same issues come up again and again. There's a reason why Compare Higurashi and Made in Abyss. They're both horror series that have children in it. And just is like very mind break territory. Higurashi is generally important to us because it was at that stepping stone of not just watching darker anime, but like really feeling like we could handle watching darker anime. I think we were like 14, 15 when we started watching Higurashi, and we were watching it with our best friend online in a video call. Or I think we were on the phone actually. We may have actually been on our cell phones and we queued up the episodes and pressed play at the exact same time. We also did that with Elfen Lied. Another anime that I could literally have said almost all the same things about, and it wouldn't have changed very much, other than the fact that I don't think Elfen Lied was originally a visual novel. But like in terms of what we like about horror, what we like about like psychological stories, and a lot of what we like about anime was definitely cemented for us in a lot of ways when we were exposed to Higurashi, and it has a very warm place in our hearts because of that. Despite the blood and guts and gore and pain. So we're gonna have an interesting time tonight. Because we have been putting off trying this for so fucking long. Because we kind of had like I said, it's like this childhood thing. So it has all of this like potential energy in it. And like I can't wait to explore it. But I'm also a little bit worried because as much as I know that people have played this on Twitch before, it's one of those things where because of the reputation and I know what the like anime gets into, so I'm sure that the source material is just as intense stuff to expect. So I know that some of the more squeamish among you may have trouble, though I don't know if I'll even get to any squeamish parts tonight. Because when I looked at the gameplay for just chapter 1, because this is cut up into like so many chapters, like I saw like 8 hours. Sorry, yeah, like 8 to 13 hour playthroughs of just chapter 1. Which is the other big reason that we've been playing off playing Higurashi on stream, even though it's definitely like one of our like bucket list stream games. Cause it's long as fuck. Same thing with Yume Neko. We own all of Yume Neko. Haven't played it yet because it's notoriously long as fucking shit. But apparently changes your life and makes you even gayer. So I gotta try that out eventually. Oh hey Dill, what's up? We just read the new chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen on our break, so I'll have a lot to talk to you about this weekend. Well, yes and no. We weren't like super blown away. The hype train that the YouTube and a lot of the JJK internet was going on without us being caught up made it feel like that a lot more happened than it really did. Although it was a great chapter, beautiful. I have such a big head. Sorry, I try not to be too egotistical. Wait, shit. I don't think I can F11 this. Can I? I don't want to accidentally like fuck something up. Alt F4 is how you like just close something completely. Cause this thing asked me if oh, I thought it asked me if I wanted a window. If I wanted a window versus a full screen. To be fair, the reason why I go to streams who follow the leaks and stuff is basically like getting into the massive watch party where everyone else is hype as possible. Oh, I mean, I definitely understand why people like do the hype stuff and go through the leaks and whatnot. Like, I get it. Like, that's probably like the last leg of our, or one. That's like the last major leg from us going from like a medium level JJK fan to a higher level JJK fan is literally just do we look at leaks, because like it'd be really easy. We're already watching like review videos and like eating up a lot of JJK YouTube content, commentary content and analysis and stuff. So like it's not a far cry. It's just we want to have a little bit of surprise. Wait, why am I a big girl today? Oh, like the actual size of the model. I'm silly. Alright. I don't know if volume is good. I guess we'll find out. Seventh expansion presents Welcome to Hinamizawa When They Cry. Oh, do they have a thing for the models? I think they're yeah, character sprites. Original versus updated. Yeah, I'm gonna do the original because they're cute as fuck. I'm just saying, there's nothing crazier for a hype than having it translated one page at a time, and they're just having to sit there until the next page is translated, and you're just on the edge of your seat waiting, going crazy. Oh, actually, that sounds pretty cool. I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. Well, let me scoot a bit closer. Welcome to the world of Higurashi When They Cry. The Okinawa arc will be the opening, inviting you into this world. Don't play tough. Please just enjoy life in Hinamizawa to the fullest. I'm sure I'll be able to pronounce that well soon. I hope, maybe. The difficulty is extremely high, but I hope you'll enjoy the reward. Oh boy. Is this the Dark Souls of visual novels? Combined with the fact that the person who I usually go to is a power scaler who makes videos on wins, fights, and stuff, and also theories, so everyone in the chat's just screaming on what they think could happen next. Maybe we'll check out the leaks next week. You convinced us to try. That was fucking terrifying. Hello. Please do not lament. I will forgive you, even if the world will not forgive you. Please do not lament. I will forgive you, even if you will not forgive the world. So please tell me, what will it take for you to forgive me? Frederica Birkenstell. This work is a fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons or organizations is entirely coincidental. AD 1983, the early summer of the 58th year of the Ch.1 era. If I was gonna be ripped apart anyways, having my body ripped apart would have been far better. I trusted her. No, I still trust her. Even in this very moment, I trust her. But I'm starting to realize I only wanted to trust her because I refused to accept the truth. It was as if I was trying to convince myself in such a silly sobbing voice. And those tears making a mess of my face. That mechanical, repetitious sound finally stilled, and everything fell silent. Only the cry of the cicadas remained, annoyingly loud, and yet I felt as if I could still hear her voice. But that's not possible. She's no longer speaking. The only one crying is me. She never cried. Even when she repeated those words over and over, she never expressed any emotion because there was none to show. If she had no tears to shed for me, then I shouldn't need to shed any for her. Then why? This pain, my eyes getting moist. Why was this happening? I still wanted to believe I hadn't been split apart. That's enough, right? Inside me, an inner voice whispered gently, my spirit had suffered enough. And the countless times I wavered over whether I should just throw the battered thing away. Except, I've stubbornly refused to do that, haven't I? I'd feel better if I just threw it away. Even knowing that, I chose to believe, didn't I? Only I can understand that painful struggle and appreciate it. Hey, me? I've tried more than enough. I'll acknowledge that much. So, isn't it alright to just take the easy way out? Besides, I'm not throwing it away. I'm leaving it behind, with her. Like flowers by a grave. Now then, calm your nerves. Even though you can't feel your right arm, just lift it up. And with every swing, forget a little more. That kindness made me happy. That adorable smile brought me joy. I liked petting your head. I loved how demure you were. Because this will be the last time. Because when I swing this down, I'll forget. This is my first and last bouquet for you. Perhaps I really did love you. Higurashi, when they cry. Welcome to Hinamizawa. Somebody's been apologizing for a while now. Click save. Menu. Let's see. Configuration. Okay. That's probably good then. Cool. Oh yeah, I know you weren't doing a sales pitch, Dell, but I was thinking about it. I'm creating a character to be a little mean to some players, who's an anthropomorphic crow dressed as a Catholic priest, who has an attack named the Grasping Palm of Buddha. I see. That's funny, we have a crow Kenku in our system. Somebody has been apologizing for a while now. I wonder what she's apologizing for. It felt wrong to eavesdrop, so I tried to ignore it. It had been a while since I last went to the city. I only returned to attend the funeral of a relative. Even though I'd lived there until last month, I found the bustle of the city to be overwhelming. Those skyscrapers and the multi-lane roads. The melodious cacophony of the sidewalk. Even the campaign speeches blaring in front of the station felt nostalgic. The place where I live now isn't nearly as lively. There's only the chirping of locusts and the babbling of brooks, and the cry of the higurashi, the evening cicadas. Rather than making me feel lonely, that quietness had begun to instill a sense of serenity. There's nothing where I'm living now. I don't mean there isn't any burger joints. Or I just don't mean. I don't just mean that. There aren't even any vending machines. No music stores. No restaurants. And no arcades. Even an ice cream parlor would be unlikely. The nearest town has some stuff like that, but that's like an hour away by bike. But come to think of it, it wasn't really a big deal. There was music stores and arcades and ice cream parlors, but it wasn't like I ever hung out at any of them. I lived in the city for 10 years and never once been to an ice cream parlor. I should have at least gone once. It's only now that I'm starting to regret that a little. Somebody is still apologizing. Who was she apologizing to? She's apologized so much. So just forgive her already? There's no reason anyone should ever need to apologize so much. I started to feel a bit annoyed at whoever was refusing to forgive her. No matter how bad the mistake, there's nothing that can't be forgiven. There's no such thing as an irreparable mistake. You just need to be more careful next time. She's still apologizing even now. Then, has she really done something that can't be fixed? I have no idea what she's done, but if it can't be fixed, then that's all the more reason to forgive her. No matter how much she apologizes, nothing will change. But even so, she keeps apologizing in such a heartbreaking voice. Hey you, the one she's apologizing to? Why don't you just go ahead and forgive her? She's apologizing in such a pathetic voice. Keiichi, we're almost there. Wake up. I was finally roused from my nap by my father's crying. Oh. I just assumed it was a girl. Because this is Higurashi. There are very few boys. There's a few men. Keiichi, we're almost there. Wake up. I was finally roused from my nap by my father's crying. It seemed the train had reached its final stop. We'd spent hours riding everything from the bullet train to the local routes. It was hard to believe that the landscape beyond the window in the city I was in half a day ago were in the same country. No, that they were even the same era. From there, we take a car deeper into the mountains. Psst. Oh, not psst, past. Past where the dense forest encroaching on the mountain road suddenly opened up. There, where I live now. Hinamizawa. Even though we were approaching summer, the morning air still had a frigid bite. Although, in exchange, you could fill your lungs up with crisp, clean air. Flipping open the window, I was greeted with a verdant expanse. Nothing but trees. The neighboring house was far away on the other side, so I was probably the only one enjoying that view and that air. I filled my lungs with another deep breath. Since I started living in Hinamizawa, I learned that even air had its own taste. I finished quickly, getting ready for school, and headed downstairs for breakfast. My mother was the only one there. My father was nowhere to be seen. He was probably up working until the early morning. Dad had a rather unconventional job as a painter. It's such a laid-back profession. Get up when you want, sleep when you want, and work when you want. I was so jealous of that easygoing lifestyle. I even wrote for school that I wanted to be a painter when I grew up. Dad was ecstatic about that one. It was just because it looked easy. I'd never tell him that though. Mom laid breakfast out on the table. Seaweed, pickled vegetables, raw egg, and grilled salmon. Yum. My mom was such a good cook, it was scary. A perfect, immaculate, ideal breakfast. Unlike my dad, who didn't even know the meaning of the word schedule, my mom never squandered any time or effort. She hummed a little tune as she brought over the miso soup. It seemed like she was in a good mood today. I'm so happy you've been waking up early since we moved here, Keiichi. If I don't wake up early, I won't have time to eat breakfast. I thought I was being cute, responding with a wisecrack after being praised for being good. 4 bowls of rice, or will half be enough? Pile it on. First, I savored the steaming hot rice with the seaweed. After that, I covered it with the egg. Between bites of rice, I enjoyed the crunch of the pickles. Not bad at all. Excellent, as usual. Watching me clean my plate, Mom gave me a warm smile. I'm happy you haven't skipped breakfast ever since we moved here, Keiichi. I was not a morning person when we lived in the city. I slept right until the last minute before school and rarely ate breakfast. Boycotting the breakfast Mom made me each morning. That was probably the only way I could protect being forced to attend cram school. I guess that was what you'd call my rebellious phase. I wouldn't so much as look at the breakfast. She woke up early, I wouldn't so much as look at the breakfast she woke up early every day to make. If I could go back in time, I'd slap myself. Mindful of the time, Mom rushed me along with a wide grin. Isn't it about time to meet up with Reina-chan? Hurry, hurry. Mom really seemed to enjoy the fact that her son was going to school with a girl. Reina is one of my classmates. She really loves looking after people, coming to meet me every day without fail. The way I look at it, a guy my age walking to school with a girl is just lame. But, well, keeping a classmate waiting for me every day wouldn't be very considerate. Seriously though, how long does Reina wait there for me every morning? Taking one last gulp of miso soup, I race for the door. Please thank Reina-chan for the pickles! Come to think of it, those pickles weren't store-bought, were they? If I had known that, I would have savored them a bit more. Morning. Keiichi-kun. Good morning. Fucking dyslexia. Her cheerful greeting was as fresh as the morning itself. You're always so early. You should try sleeping in sometime. You're always so early. You should try sleeping in sometime. If I sleep in, I'll keep you waiting. She's so conscientious and such a good person. If that ever happens, I'll just leave you behind. Keiichi-kun, you're so cold. I wait for you all the time. I'll leave you in the dust. Without looking back. Why are you so mean? Why? Reina had a slightly troubled look on her face. Toying with her was rather fun because of how quickly her mood changed. I'm kidding. I'd wait for you. With those words, Reina seemed to relax. Her face flushed bright red. Thank you. I'd wait forever. I'd wait forever until you came, Reina. No matter how long. Forever? Reina turned bright red, steam raising from her head as her brain short-circuited. She's especially weak to the sort of talk. It's quite rare to find someone this fun to tease. Have you ever read a romance novel, Reina? Huh? I haven't. Never read any before. From that response, I gathered she was interested in them, but was too embarrassed to actually buy one. I can't imagine what would happen if she did read one. She'd probably turn red and pass out. Oh yeah, message from Mom. She says thanks for the pickles. It was nothing. You're welcome. How were they? Not too salty? They weren't that salty. Actually, they had a pretty light flavor to them. It would have been fine to just be honest and say they were good, but apparently I couldn't be that forthright. I'd like to ask something before that. Were you the one who pickled them, Reina? Or was it your mom? Huh? Why do you ask? Were they too salty? Her attitude completely changed as she began to panic frantically. Was it you, Reina, or was it your mom? Why are you asking who made them? Why? Depending on who made them, my opinion of them might change drastically. She counted frantically on her fingers, trying to remember the amount of salt she used to pickle them. It wasn't like I was trying to tease her, but I couldn't help myself. Guys who take pleasure in this kind of thing are probably the worst. Guys like me. Reina nervously opened and closed her mouth over and over, trying to muster a response. It was me. Delicious. Huh? Pretty good, just like the last ones. They went perfectly with the rice. Her face went bright red again. She was completely spacing out. It truly was a lot of fun to tease her. I pray that Reina never gets taken advantage of by some lowlife. Keep at it, Reina. I'll train you until you handle it like the average person. Or so I decided to tell myself. Let's go. If we keep Mion waiting, we'll never hear the end of it. Seeing as she just kept spacing out otherwise, I called Reina back to reality so that we could make our way to school. This strange, easily flustered girl is Reina Riguru. I've only known her for about a month, but I've come to realize it's not just her name that's strange. Would you rather have a living whip blade that will actively protect you from danger, or a bow staff that can shoot fire from the tip? Living whip blade sounds more up like Thorn or Scribble's alley. I'm definitely going with the bow staff. That's actually my canon weapon. Well, more like a lance. I'm more of a lance type of, I'm more of a lance lesbian. On Karma's good side, thank you for following. Your life will be filled with happiness and sadness. Mi-chan, good morning. Coming up next to the rendezvous point, we saw another person waiting for us. Noticing us, she waved. Ah, finally, you two are late. Usually you're the one that's late. In sharp contrast to the diligent Reina, this one marched to the beat of her own drum. She's Mion Sonozaki. For what it's worth, she's our senior and head of the class. Morning, Reina. It's been a while, K-chan. How many years? I was only off 2 days! You don't say. You were so much cuter back then. Mion's gaze stared at my chest, then dropped straight down, focusing at the point between my legs. So she was saying that my crotch was cuter back then? Before you ask, just to be clear, I've never actually tried to show it to her. I've grown quite splendidly. You'd be surprised. Not only is he bigger, but he has a little mustache now. Being so engorged with energy every morning is quite a problem, though. I'll introduce you next time, so be sure to greet him properly. Don't say next time, right now is just fine. How about letting the little guy get a breath of fresh air? Ohayou gozaimasu. I don't think I've ever heard talk so dirty you could smell it fuming up the morning air before. Mion sure does act like an old man sometimes. Gotcha. Time for the big reveal. Hope you don't regret it. As my hand reached for my fly, Reina began to ramble in a near panic. Hey, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Red face and flustered, Reina tried to play dumb, but it was obvious she knew exactly what we were talking about. How was it? Oh, I thought the dig. I thought it was about the dig. How was it, seeing the city again? Mion switched gears, dropping the dirty talk and changing the topic to something more befitting the pleasant morning. I only went for a funeral. I didn't have much time. So yeah, did you look for it? That thing I asked you for? You're not listening at all? I just came back from a funeral. I didn't have time to look around at toy stores. Toy stores and hobby shops are completely different, you know? It's really difficult to get Western stuff around here after all. Is this about games again, Mi-chan? Mio nodded proudly as Reina giggled. Yep, I wanted K-chan to bring me back a Westport catalog, you see. Westport was short for Western Imported Games. Using that abbreviation didn't make it sound geeky. You can just get them sent to you in the mail, right? Well, I guess I have to now. I'm gonna get another game full of hot action. This time I like a game that's easy to understand. Mion is a board and card game enthusiast, and I hear she's collected quite a lot of different ones. According to Reina, Mion's room has kind of become a museum for domestic and foreign games. If there's a game you think I'd understand, let me play too. Of course. If K-chan is up for it, I should warn you though, we're pretty tough. Just what I want. I'll play all sorts of games. I don't intend to lose. Whoa. Then I'll let you in the group this time, I guess. Bristling with joy from head to toe, Reina looked back and forth between me and Mion. Mion gave her an affirmative wink, and her expression perked up even further. I thought boys preferred playing outside more, so I figured you wouldn't want to. Reina laughed happily. From such a friendly conversation, you wouldn't think I had moved here less than a month ago. I understood that they did all they could to make a transfer student like me feel at home. I'd have to try harder to fit in, so they won't feel like they have to try to make me feel welcome. I feel like if I acted a bit more open than I usually am, I should probably be about right for this place. Hinamizawa was a really small village. Not only was there only one school, but there was only one class. That class encompasses all different grades and ages. fun fact, we've been looking into it recently. Apparently, the switch from schools being kind of like all in one room, or like a class not being separated necessarily by age, or I guess like level of knowledge, and like the standardization of grades, as in like groups of like students and, you know, a standardized what you learn in each grade or whatever, came about in the reconceptualization of children as they would come to be seen today. That is to say, how do I put this? As children were seen more as folks that were supposed to enjoy life up to a certain point and not needed to be, you know, like burdened with the knowledge of how fucked up the world is and all the things that society now like expects of children, or I guess doesn't expect of children, and what leads to kind of their objectification, came about as a way to humanize them more and, like, you know, be more compassionate. But, you know, we all know how that shit goes. There were about 30 students at different levels, and they all study in the same class. I'm told that long ago there used to be a bigger school building and they had actually separate classes. However, it seems something happened that made it become a single class, and that stayed that way out of tradition. I was shocked at first, but humans adapt pretty quickly. I've already gotten quite used to it. The sound of children playing started right from the morning. With such a lively mood, it felt like a kindergarten than a proper school. Not that that was a bad thing. Kindergarten can be fun. Mio had been walking in front of us up until then. Suddenly let me take the lead. Right in front of the classroom door. So I meant to slide the door open and enter the room first. Too bad I wasn't gonna fall for that again. To think you'd give up the lead here. You meant for this to be the test of my skills. Mion chuckled with a haughty smirk on her face. What is it, you guys? Step back, Reina. It's dangerous. She's here. Huh? Then Sadako-chan is? Her name was Sadaka Hojo. She was a disrespectful, impudent, bossy kid. The way she talks was annoying, but it would be immature to get worked up over just that. The real problem was this. Quite the obvious trap, a blackboard eraser wedged in the door. That's way too obvious, Sadako. A haughty laugh came from beyond the door. Excellent, K-chan. I guess that means you win this round? No. This is Sadako we're talking about. I doubt this is it. After falling for such intricate traps since the day I would transfer, I no longer let my guard down. Sadako liked to combine a variety of traps. Traps that were simply there to bait you into the main one. Traps that relentlessly kept coming at you like a sadistic Rube Goldberg machine. The list goes on. As well as being clever, they almost never misfire. Well, you expect it. When you least expect it, she strikes. No escape. No time to relax. By the looks of it, this eraser is normal. No rocks or anything in it. I took a pretty heavy hit from a blackboard eraser loaded with rocks on my first day. So why don't you just open the door and let it drop? That's what it is. That's what Sadako was after, making me focus my attention upward, so as I lifted my head to the door, there were thumbtacks stuck to the sliding door handle with tape. A frightening trap. A potent and terrifying trap, concealed by using a blackboard eraser. An impressive combination, Sadako! But in the end, nothing more than the of the trivial machinations of a child. Assured of my victory, I threw the door open and stepped into the room. I felt something strange at my ankle. It was a similar sensation of a jump rope catching my leg. By the time I realized it, she had me hook, line, and sinker. It was already too late. I began to fall in an almost picturesque manner. K-chan, watch out! Instantly reaching to Mion's shrill warning, I twisted my body in midair before I landed on the floor. I accidentally pressed the hide button. Ow! Ow! An inkstone filled to the brim was placed right where I would have landed. I shuddered, imagining a situation how I landed square on it. My, what do we have here? A fair morning to you, K-san. Aren't we a lively one this morning? Still sprawled in an awkward position, I was greeted by a mocking voice. That was a step up from your usual trap, Sadako. I haven't the faintest idea what you mean. You're quite unlucky this morning. You little... Oh. It seemed like I inadvertently sprained my back a little when I landed. Better than landing on that inkstone. A small hand gently rubbed my head. Pain, go away. The small, dainty hand continued to gently stroke my head. You didn't sprain your back or anything, did you? If you rub it like this, the pain disappears. I thought about asking how rubbing my head would help my back, but I didn't. It's not so much about what you actually do, it's the thought that counts. Yeah, thanks, Rika-chan. The pain's going away now. Yeah, thanks, Rika-chan. The pain's going away now. Oh god, my brain. Yeah, thanks, Rika-chan. The pain's going away now. Yay, Rika-chan! Good morning! Good morning to you, Reina. A good morning to you all. Rika-chan greeted each of us with an adorable little bow. It was infectious. Reina-chan, Mion, and I all bowed back. You're such a good kid, Rika-chan. So much better than Sadako. I glared over in her direction. Sadako was whistling while rather deliberately trying to avoid eye contact. I'm the very model of a good girl. A good girl wouldn't set those nasty traps. Nothing but lies and slander! Exactly what proof? Wah! I picked up Sadako by the back of her collar. She looked like a misbehaved cat when I do this. But a cat wouldn't be setting traps. She's much more harder to deal with. I'm sorry! Oh, I'm sorry. Try saying that. If you won't say it, I cocked my index finger on my thumb, letting it tremble as I brought it closer to Sadako's forehead. I'm against violence! You don't even have any proof! Just so you know, my forehead flick really hurts. It can split plywood right in half. Stop! Get away from me, you beast! Don't say that in a way people misunderstand. A small hand tugged on the back of my shirt. She's been lonely since you were gone for 2 days. Rika-chan really is just so... How can I do anything more after being told that? I gently released my grip on Sadako, who at this point was on the verge of tears. She still had her eyes clamped shut as she braced herself for the forehead flick. It doesn't bother me. You mustn't cry, Sadako. Keep on fighting. Yeah. Rika gently petted the head of her prankster friend. You would never guess these two were the same age. I think Sadako could learn a thing or a million from Rika-chan. Next time, set an even more amazing trap. Wait a minute! As she observed the scene, Reina's expression grew ecstatic as she began to swoon. Oh, Sadako-chan is crying. So cute. Oh, Reina is a lolicon, got it. The hell is my ads targeted for? What ads are you getting, Dill? Sup, ya boy? And hello, good girl Essie, and welcome to stream. Or welcome back? Well, welcome back. Oh, Sadako-chan is crying. So cute. You can't take them home. Oh? But they're so cute. You can't, no matter how cute they are. But just for a bit? It's fine. It's fine. Reina kept a cutesy face even as outrageous ideas spewed from her mouth. According to Mion, Reina is ridiculously weak to cute things and always tries to take them home. Object or person? Stealing is bad, but abducting people is even worse. Give it up. Then I can just look. Just looking. That should be fine, right? Right? Reina swooned over Sadako's crying form. If a girl ever goes missing in Hinamizawa, I'll be forced to turn Reina in to the authorities. Forgive me, Reina. I'll be sure to bring you care packages when they put you away. The teacher's coming. Quickly, clean everything up. Sadako, that inkstone is yours, right? Just for Mion's single statement, the entire the room shifted back to normal. The inkstone was bad, but the thumbtacks stuck to the door handle were an even bigger problem. I pulled the tape off carefully, making sure not to skewer myself. They're friends. It's fine when you kidnap your friends. Even though Sadako was the one who set it up, everyone had to pick up after her. By the time the teacher entered the room, the bedlam from before had been neatly tidied up. We made it in time. Rise attention! Mion gave the morning commands. It's difficult being a teacher for all these different grades in one classroom. She has to teach something different to each one. But naturally, she ends up spending all her time with the younger kids. Reina and Mion, being in the highest grade in the class, end up mostly being self-study. They even end up helping teach the younger kids, so it seems like they can never get to their own studies. They're actually way behind where my studies have progressed to. As a result, I'm pretty much taking over for the teacher and helping Reina and Mion with their studies. You're a really good teacher, Keiichi-kun. Easy to understand. Reina took a breather after finishing highlighting an important section. Teaching is making me lose confidence. It makes me aware of how shallow my understanding of the subject is. They say that to teach someone something, you need to understand it backwards and forwards. So, while you're teaching us, you're getting in your own practice. In contrast, this person over here is quite the laissez-faire about things. For one, isn't she supposed to be in a higher grade than me? Look, Mion, this is for your own good. If you don't take this seriously, there'll be trouble later on with these marks. It's not like I'm aiming to go to a prestigious school. I'll be fine as long as I pick up where I need to know for the entrance exams a little at a time. Her staunch defiance was really something else. This was a different type of relapse than someone who already knew what was going to be on the entrance exams. Mi-chan, Keiichi-kun is doing his best to teach us. We should try really hard too. You're such a good and honest kid, Reina. I'll make sure you guys get accepted into a good school. What? Oh, thanks so much. Especially you, Reina. Private lessons. Just the two of us. Private lessons? A puff of smoke shaped like a halo popped out of Reina's head. Exactly what kind of private lesson is she fantasizing about that's making her turn so red? I'd like to hear the play-by-play about that next time. While Mion was flipping through her vocabulary flashcards, she threw out a casual question. So, in the city, you have to study this much? If you don't know at least this much, you can't get into university. So, you study just to get into university? Well... yeah, basically. The school system's fucked. While knowing this stuff won't ever come in handy in the future. Out here, you can get into university as long... Out here, you can get into university as long as your attendance is good enough. Really? Study equals entrance exams. Having that basic law of the universe so easily overturned sent me into a state of shock. That's right. There isn't really enough people around here to warrant weeding them out with an entrance exam. If anyone can get into university, then there's no need to be all uptight about this stuff, right? Well, that's true. But you should at least know stuff that's common knowledge. This old geezer thinks that instead of wasting time studying pointlessly, you should be spending your precious 10 years doing more meaningful things. It was too profound of a statement to simply laugh off. But since it was Mion, it probably didn't actually have that deep of a meaning. In place of a chime, the sound of the principal waving a handbell drifted through the classroom. Kei-chan, we're done! We're done! It's our wonderful lunchtime. In a complete 180 from her unmotivated state, Mion gave the commands to signal the end of the morning period. Keiichi-kun, let's have lunch. I might have been making a very troubled face. Reina smiled brightly at me. Alright, let's eat. There seemed to be different cliques, even within the class. Most of them were divided by gender and age. But our group was different. Our ages were different, and we were both boys and girls. But we weren't reserved around each other. This level of openness makes a transfer student like me pretty happy. Reina and Mion pushed their desks together so that they were facing each other. At the same time, Sadako and Rika-chan were slowly lugging their desks over as well. Keiichi-kun, hurry, hurry! Reina waved her chopsticks in an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone was together, they wouldn't even open their lunchboxes. Keiichi-san's lunchbox is most assuredly filled with nothing but bread crust, like some sort of destitute plebeian. Why don't you just show it to us? Come on now. Even though Sadako was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid of her own lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting. Well then, Representative Me, please give the signal to start. At first, this was kind of embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my own lunchbox if someone else was too slow. Our ages and genders may have all been different, but we were all friends. Itadakimasu! The sound of our little 5-part chorus echoed beautifully throughout the room. Really though, I've gotten pretty used to this group made up of all girls. Of course, there are other boys in the class, but they were a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. Well, that's to be expected. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compare that to girls. Well, at least these girls aren't picky. Oh, look at all these fucking save slots! Look at all these fucking save slots! Really though, I've gotten pretty used. Wow, this is my first save. So amazing. I wanted to also stop for a second to comment about the mix thingy, because I feel like having variation in friend groups and social circles exposes you to more different kinds of people, different types of thinking, potentially different cultures, and stuff like that. And that's very useful in learning to socialize and exist in the world, and thrive socially even. Which is why school is important for that social component, not just the collegiate component. Sorry, scholastic. Collegiate is college specifically. But I think it's actually a really common occurrence for queer folks to not experience their social circles quite like our non-queer counterparts, I guess you could say. In the sense that AMAB folks who are expected to be boys might, as a stereotype, have stronger friendships with girls than boys. But even that little thing about boys being afraid of older boys, I think, at least from our lived experience, living as a boy as a kid, definitely rang true. And it wasn't something that we actively thought about actually, but men and older boys were scary. And I guess that was part of the reason that we didn't want to grow up, because we didn't want to be scary. But that's a conversation for another time. Ugh. Our deep gender trauma goes very far. But finding people who aren't just oh, we have to separate the teams by boys and girls or something like that, by these quote-unquote easily divisible lines, I really appreciated people who didn't automatically do that. Another reason to abolish, the gendered culture, the hyper-gendered culture that we all have to live in right now. Because the whole girls and boys can't be friends or whatever, bullshit, and I hate it. Bullying bottoms is fun. Of course. Well, that's to be expected. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compare that to girls, well, at least these girls aren't picky. We put all the side dishes in the middle where everyone was free to pick at them. I thought girls would mind sharing a meal with a boy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mio noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As the fruit of my efforts, I can now reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch. Oh, I like the I like the platonic atmosphere that has been developed in this friend group. It is very charming and nice and endearing, in this sense of it not being a super big deal. That's certain things that about romanticism that we're ultimately leaning away from nowadays, but putting so much significance on simple acts that make general like cohabitation or coexistence a lot more stiff. If like having lunch with someone automatically means that you're dating them, then it means that any sort of social exploration automatically comes with like a lot of potential responsibility, and that just is no good. My, isn't Sir Keiichi's lunch extravagant today? My, isn't Madame Sadako's lunch extravagant as well? The stewed stuff has a nice look to it, rather trendy. Buying into the fight that Sadako was starting, our chopsticks locked in a cross counter, grabbing into each other's lunch. My, how delicious. Oh, this taro is good. The stewed stuff is good too, even cold. After seeing my happy face, Rika-chan's expression broke into a little smile. I saved some of my dinner from last night. By the way, Sadako and Rika-chan's lunches are always the same. It seems that Rika-chan makes it for both of them every day. Rika-chan made this too? These taste like mom's home cooking. I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosettes weren't from a mold. They were done by hand, with a knife. That's not easy to do. I guess Rika-chan's just good at that sort of thing. She's really good at sewing, laundry, and stuff like that. Amazing, right? Amazing! Rika is quite exceptional in many ways. That's nothing for you to boast about. Reina's actually better at cooking than I am. Huh? Well, you know. It seemed that the topic of conversation switched to Reina when she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her words. Reina's lunch really was the star of the table. Not only did it look good, it tasted good. Everyone else pulled from Reina's lunchbox constantly. Everyone liked this so much before, so I made a lot this time. It's good, I hope. It's got high marks from me. Ah, Mion, you're taking too much. Knocking Mion's chopsticks aside, I reached out trying to secure my own portion. Saiko and Rika-chan reached over at the same time and a struggle ensued. Everyone shoveled in mouthful after mouthful while praising it, and Reina's lunchbox was soon empty. It was kinda bad that no one thought to leave any for Reina, but Reina seemed rather satisfied as she looked on. How did you like it? Isn't Reina-san an extremely good cook too? Quite different from Keiichi-san. I said that's nothing for you to boast about! You're not much different from Keiichi-chan, Sadako. Can you tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower yet? Sadako's face went pale. Hey, even I can tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower, you know. Of course I can. I really can. It's really hard for her to lie. Keiichi-kun, both taste good when they're boiled and topped with mayo, right? You shouldn't be picking on her. Mi-chan too. Reina hurriedly tried to follow up, but Mion laughed haughtily as she drew closer to Sadako. Well. Just pretend it's a little home ec lesson. Now then, Sadako, what's this? Mion lifted up her chopsticks. Between them was a piece of green stuff wrapped in bacon. But that's a Mion made eye contact with me, and within 3 seconds I had Rika-chan's mouth covered. Holding a piece of bacon-wrapped asparagus and giving her 2 choices. She's pretty terrible. The yellow one is cauliflower. No, wait. The green one is cauliflower? So, which... Probably... The yellow one is broccoli and the blue one is cauliflower. But the green one is, Do you know which is which? How about you just give up? I expect no less from the class representative. The oldest. The way she drives people into a corner just shows how much experience she has. This is just a hunch, but being brought into the Sonozaki household must be quite the ordeal. I do know. I really do. Then answer the question. I know! She finally broke down and started crying. When she acts like this, she actually starts to seem her age. Oh, cute. Reina entered a state of euphoria as Sadako bawled her eyes out. Reina was in a state of bliss as she rubbed her cheeks against Sadako's head and smothered her. Really? A very content face. One that wouldn't care if the world ended right then. It was that kind of smile. Reina! Reina! Mimi is picking on me! Cute, cute! It's okay. Reina Oni-chan will take care of all those bad people who tease my little sis. It was like a flash of lightning. What was that just now? Both of Reina's fists shot out at supersonic speed, striking Mion and me squarely in our faces. Before we knew it, Mion and I were sprawled, spread eagle on the floor, staring up at the ceiling with matching welts on our faces. This is the first time you've gotten one, right? I keep accidentally pressing the spacebar and the spacebar hides the text. This is the first time you've gotten one, right? Today, she went easy on us. Easy? You mean there's something harder than this? With that, Mion and I slumped our heads back to the floor in unison. From now on, I'll be careful when I'm within striking distance of Reina. See, Sadako-chan? I took care of them. Cute. I want to take you home. Making sure Reina couldn't see it, Sadako stuck her tongue out at us. Damn it all! Using Reina like a puppet. Rika-chan massaged our bruises without saying a word. That scene was really good for establishing character and the vibe between the characters, not just they are a friend group. Rika built like a house, wife skill-wise. No matter what the day had held, the last school bell always came too soon. Our shadows stretched far off into the distance. Hey, Hey, Kei-kun. Hey, Keiichi-kun. Tomorrow, do you have plans or anything? Huh? It was such a direct question from Reina, I inadvertently blushed. If it was for a date, then wouldn't you do it more subtly? Reina saw me lost for words and realized I misunderstood. She turned red as well. No, I didn't mean it like that. You see, So apparently that wasn't what she meant. But since it's always fun when Reina's in a panic, I went along with it a little. Oh, really? So it wasn't meant that way? Huh? Huh? Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection. Keiichi-kun, why are you so disappointed? Why? Why? Mi-chan! Unable to hold it any longer, Mion slapped me on the back. I see. This old geezer never knew you could push her buttons like that. Huh? Huh? What is it? Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach while Reina flailed around, completely bewildered. I couldn't help but start laughing as well, feeling just a little bit guilty. I ruffled Reina's hair. Kidding, sorry, it was a joke. That was my fault. She really is a cute one. Huh? Huh? A joke? Since when? Since when? Huh? About halfway through. Halfway? So, Kei-chan, that means you weren't acting when you blushed at the start? Huh? That means... It was only a momentary lapse, but there was no way Mion could let such a deliberate detail slip by her. Ah, well, you see... saying anything more was a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavorable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while. So, why were you asking if I was free tomorrow, Reina? Huh? Oh, what were we talking about? It had been so long that Reina had forgotten. That's how long Mion had teased me. It's just, Kei-chan, you probably can't find your way around Hinamizawa by yourself, can you? That was true. I hate to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times like we're playing pin the tail on the donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here. Yeah, I don't think I know how to get anywhere besides back and forth from school. Yeah. So, you see, tomorrow we were thinking that Mi-chan and I could escort you through Hinamizawa and show you around. That would be a godsend. Frankly, I was happy about the offer. You'll come, of course, right? If I'm free. You're being invited by a girl, you know. If I'm free. You're probably free anyways. If I'm free. I was being stubborn so as not to give a clear yes or no. Even though I thought it was a godsend, I'm too much of a scamp to say it so upfront. Keiichi-kun, you're not free, perhaps? Perhaps? While Mion and I had our rather sour back and forth, Reina peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I'd been a little bit too rough on her, I just gave in. Sorry. Forgive me, I apologize. I'm free. Great! The trepidation disappeared from Reina's face as it blossomed into a smile. Hey now. Seems like there's quite a difference between how cold you are to me compared to Reina, isn't there? It seems Mion didn't care for how rude I was to her compared to how quickly I agreed with Reina. But her being annoyed was very interesting. So I pushed Reina forward, speeding up our pace to leave Mion behind. Let's go, Reina. Oh, let's go, Reina. maybe it should just be the two of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mio behind. Oh, maybe it should just be the two of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mio behind. Huh? Whoa, if Keiichi-kun is okay with that, then... I'm the one who came up with the idea to take him around. Don't ignore me, Keiichi Minabara. It'd be great if the two of us could go on a picnic together. Should we bring a basket, Reina? If we're bringing a basket... I'll make all the food. Maybe. Don't you ignore me too, Reina. I'll tell everyone that you two disappeared into the hotel district together. Well then, I'm going home right now to start making it. Tomorrow's gonna be so fun! Later, Keiichi-kun. Mi-chan, bye! Reina bounded off like she was walking to the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mio sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face. Are you alright? There was over 2 meters between you guys. Since you've come, they've become sharper. This old geezer... Oh. Are you alright? There was over 2 meters between you guys. Since you came, they've become sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it. Oh no, that whole thing was Mia. Okay, let me start with. Are you alright? There were over 2 meters between you guys. Since you came, they've been sharper. This old geezer's body can't take it. Maybe it'd be better if you stopped saying stuff that makes Reina want to hit you? Or else, this will end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour. If that happened, the results might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Mio. You're probably the only one who can dodge her jabs. It felt like it was her knee, though. Could it be that we were hanging around with an... It felt like it was her knee, though. Could it be that we were hanging around with an unrivaled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see her debut in an extreme contact sport. You can't lose so Rainy, you need to train up and have a rematch. Kei-chan, you should... This old geezer will root for you. Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Reina's infallible technique. You have received new tips. We've mixed a grade. We don't have a uniform. Oh gosh, that was such a good scene. So good. End of chapter 1. Oh, that's perfect. I guess that's it for this today. Next week I'll do 2 chapters. Even though, ironically, this is chapter 1 of a game. Which isn't confusing at all. What are the tips? We're a mixed grade? So Reina, we're the same age? Yes. Yes, that's right. We're the same zodiac animal too. Hey now, it would be weird if we were the same age. Hey now, it would be weird if we were the same age but not the same zodiac animal. That's not true. If your birthday isn't the same, then you can have different animals even if you're the same age. Huh? Oh, I see. Mia, you're pretty smart. What month were you born, by the way, Kichi-kun? I'm July. Reina smirked and puffed up with pride. Hey, our birthday's in July too, it just passed. Hey now, what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday is a wee bit sooner than mine, is she? Don't even. It's impossible to challenge me by birthday. I wouldn't even mind if you bet $1 per month. Huh? Huh? Why? Why? Reina panicked at suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I'm certain she doesn't have much allowance left this month. It's just sending her into a panic about something as simple as a birthday is so fun. I can't help myself. So, that means you were born in April, Kei-chan. Right on. Too bad, Reina. I'm already far older than Reina. Oh, I see. Then you're the same age as me-chan. Well, it's just a few months. That gap will open up again soon enough. Mion snickered through her nose. Hey now, that's not something to get all high and mighty about. As if I'm the one to talk. Now that you mention it, you're in a higher grade, right, Mion? If you're an underclassman, then I can be an upper... If you're an underclassman, then I can be an underclassman from now on. Me-chan, you're not making any sense to me. Just by seeing Reina's blushing face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it, though. Then Sadako and Rika-chan... Then Sadako and Rika-chan are underclassmen? Their grade is so different that they should be in a different school, shouldn't they? Keiichi-kun, your tastes are a bit too young, I think. You're not making any sense yourself, Reina. I'll just grab onto her head and scruff it up a bit. No, stop it! God, that was cute. I wondered about it before, yeah. I was wondering why the school has different school years all mixed up. There aren't enough classrooms. Can't help it. This building is being rented from the forestry services after all. When she says it like that, it makes sense. I've thought our school was strange for a while now. The schoolyard is gravel. There are some rooms that aren't for houses, and there is some strange sort of construction machinery parked here. Why is it being borrowed? What happened to the real school? There was one here forever from before the war. It got dilapidated. They closed it down. It probably was a grand old schoolhouse. Well, because it probably was a grand old schoolhouse. Well, because of that, the students would have to attend a school in the city. That's pretty far though, you know? Which school would that be? Did you know that there's a part of the school if you pass by the Okinawa train station? Turn at the hospital and head towards the pediatrics department. What? So far. I couldn't tell where it was by the location, but I understand it pretty far from Reina's reaction. Well, that's why. The guys that didn't want to commune to Okinawa rented out the building from the forestry services and are attending this pseudo schoolhouse here. About half the children in Hinamizawa go here. There are quite a lot of kids that come here on bike. Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it might be pretty hard for them to get into higher education. That's not true. Oh. Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it might be pretty hard for them to get into higher education. That's not true, Mi-chan. If you study properly, you can go anywhere you want. Yeah, that's right, that's right. Yeah, that's right, that's right. I totally agree with Reno on this one. Yeah, that's right, that's right. Let's try our best. All of you try your best. This old man will be rooting for you. Not just us, you too. You should be preparing for exams, shouldn't you? Your future is bleak with grades like this. Fine, just fine. If I get stuck, they'll just mooch off K-chan as he works forever. What do you mean by work forever? What do you mean? Hey, you're too loud! Be quiet during self-study. The teacher yelled at all three of us. It was completely our own fault. Sadako saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue at her in response. It was just as Mion says. This school has nothing to do with higher education, but it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. Oh, this is interesting. There's like little vignettes. Kind of reminds me of like if you read like a like there's some manga they're like a normal kind of story manga, but then they have like 4 panels or like 8 panels that go in between certain chapters or certain volumes that like do happen in the story, but like not reading them you don't lose like too much to understand what's happening. It's more like, I guess with some if something like that were to be animated, someone might refer to it as like filler, even though it's not, because it doesn't necessarily progress the story. So actually, we don't have a uniform will be what I'll probably redo this one since I was messing up so much next week. But I like these as like the equivalent of like a 8 panel at the end of a chapter, or a 4 panel. There's lots of different ways manga do stuff. Gosh, a lot of art we're consuming lately is making us want to get into comic creation or visual novel creation, or both. I wonder if those are called tips because there's something that there's information given in them, but not in a straightforward way. I don't know why I did that twice, just in case viewing the tips counts as something, like puts up a flag. Especially thinking about games like You, Me and Her a Love Story, or Doki Doki Literature Club, or even Undertale. I don't know what might change how the game plays based on different flags of doing certain things, since I haven't gotten any choices yet, so I have to keep that in mind as well. Wow, this is some good music. I think I'll use it for moseying on out of stream, I think. That is to say, I am going to end. I know it's only been 7 hours, but here we are.